Yes. Right. So if your equation is given as that, remember the general equation of a circle is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. So here, your coordinates of m, right? You look at the given equation, there is a minus here and there is a minus there, which means the x value at the center is going to be positive 8, right? There is a plus here and there is a minus there, which means the y value is going to be negative 4. Okay, so that should be straightforward. Then 5.2 now, calculate the length. Now when you say length here, that's the distance. So you have to use the distance formula. So we want to calculate the length of OM, that is from the center here, or the origin, up to M. So we know that the coordinates here are 0, 0 at the origin, and the coordinates here, we have found them there. So all you have to do is use the distance formula. Yes? You want to say something?
But can you explain that again? So you only need those 2.4 m.
Yes, because the question says calculate the value of 4m. So you need to put the coordinates here and the coordinates there.
Would you have one avoid by calculating the distance of TP?
There is no way that you can calculate the distance of TP because we don't know the coordinates of T, don't know the coordinates of P.
Remember, 4m is equal to TP.
4m is not TP. No. 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 We are not told that yet, so we can't make that assumption. Okay? TP is a tangent, yes, and OM is just a straight line joining the two centers.
So the only thing is the parallel.
Yes, they are parallel, yes. So I'm going to write my distance formula. So this will be for 5.2. So OM is going to be equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Right? So that's my distance formula. I put the square root to make things easier for myself. Then the next thing is my x2 is going to be 8, my x1 is going to be 0, my y2 is going to be minus 4, my y1 will be 0. So I'll say OM will be equal to the square root of 8 minus 0 squared plus minus 4 minus 0 squared. So this will give me 64 and that will give me 16. So I'll get the square root of 80, which I can write, well, I can write in many ways there. Right? 16 times 5 will give me 8, so this will be 4 square root of 5 units. Because they said, leave your answer in simplest set form. So in simplest set form, the answer will be 4 square root of 5 units. Okay? Are you following them? Huh?
Right. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do the steps over there. You can just leave here.
Yeah, but remember, I'm not using a calculator.
But can you?
Well, for this question here, it's 2 marks. So 1 mark is going to be allocated for the formula in correct substitution. So you could get, it's most likely the first mark is here, the final mark is there. Which means these 2 steps, even if they are not there, they won't be allocated any mark. Okay? But if you are not using a calculator, they are important to help you to get to the answer. Okay? So, first, just to summarize 5.1 and 5.2, you need to know how to determine the coordinates of the center. then you need to know how to find the length of a line segment. That's grade 10. So 5.2 is a grade 10 question. 5.1, that's the grade 12 equation of a segment. Okay?
So, I have a question. Okay, can you do that one?
Which one? Okay, can you allow me, can I talk about your question later? Right? Then 5.3 says calculate the length of ON. Now ON is the length from the center here up to there. That's the length of ON. Okay? Now, if you want to calculate the length of ON, do you agree with me? Since we know the length of OM, ON will be equal to OM minus the radius of the big circle.
Use the midpoint here.
No, we are not going to use any midpoint here. You see, look here. Do you see that we calculate the length of OM here? This is point O, that's M. Now they are asking us to determine the length of OM. Okay? But the point N up to point M, that's a radius. Okay? It's a radius. From this point N here up to point M, that's a radius. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
So, that radius, we can get it from here. Remember, R squared is going to be equal to 45. So, the square root of 45 will be the radius. But we already calculated the length of OM, which means ON is going to be equal to OM minus NM, which is the radius. So I can write this as ON is equal to OM minus NM. That makes sense. Because when you are doing questions on analytical geometry, you must ask yourself a question whether what you are doing makes sense or not. And this NM, this NM here is the radius. Okay? So the radius is equal to NM and it's equal to the square root of 45. If you have a question, ask, please. Our equation of our circle is given as x minus 8 squared plus y plus 4 squared is equal to 45. This 45 here, that's equivalent to r squared. So your r is going to be equal to the square root of 45. And also on the diagram, I hope you are aware that how many red do we have for the bigger circle? There are two. Both of them are equal to r. So this is r, that's also r. So from n to m, that's the radius. And that's equal to 45 units. Sorry, the square root of 45 units. Therefore, my ON is going to be equal to OM, which I got as 5. Rather, I got it as 4 square root of 2. This one here, 4 square root of 5. So, I can say 4 square root of 5 minus the square root of 45. Now, I can simplify that without the calculator. This is the same as 9 times 5, so this will be 3 square root of 5. And that will give me square root of 5 units. Okay? So that will be the length of ON. There's no other way of finding it, unfortunately, based on the information we are given. And when you're answering the questions, you must use common sense. Okay? In this question, we calculated OM We are given the radius nm, therefore we can calculate ON by subtraction. It's not that complicated, right? Then 5.4, calculate the size of OMT. Now, when you start talking about an angle now, it means your knowledge from grade 11 of angle of inclination might be required. So we want OMT, which is this angle here. You want to calculate that angle. Now, also, your knowledge of circle geometry is required when you are doing that question. Okay? Like in this case here, you just have to use geometry to get the size of angle M. What do you think is the size of angle OMT? What do you think it is equal to? It's equal to 90 degrees. Why?
Because the size of it is those two lines are parallel.
Yes. So this is a tangent TP, and MT is the radius. So this angle is 90 degrees, tan perpendicular to radius. Also, we are given that OM is parallel to TP, therefore this angle is alternate to that. Okay? So, for 5.4, this will be 5.3. 5.4, the first thing that we have to write is to say MTP is equal to 90 degrees. You're using tan perpendicular to radius, or tan perpendicular to diameter. Okay, remember when I taught you analytical geometry, I told you that the grade 12 component requires knowledge of circle geometry. So you have to go back, especially tangents, theorems of tangents. Then we are also given, so we say NTP is equal to, okay, let me write it that way. It will be OMT is equal to 90 degrees. Way of looking at this. It is equal to MTP. Why? The reason is because they are alternate angles. These two lines are parallel. Okay, you can write OM is parallel to TP or PT. You can also say NM is parallel to TP. Then you can say therefore OMT is equal to 90. Okay? So knowledge of geometry from last year is required when you are answering some of the questions. Right? Any question? Can you talk? Right. Then 5.5, determine the equation of MT in the form y equal to mx plus. The equation of MT in the form y equal to mx plus c. So we now need to find the equation of this line MT. Okay? We need to find the equation of MT. And that's 5 marks. It means you have to do quite a lot of things there. Right? So how do we then approach it? Well, so far we know the coordinates of the center. X is 8, y is minus 4. We know the coordinates here at 0, 0. We also know that the two radii are perpendicular.
So why don't we sum so
Find the equation y equal to mx plus c. If you want to find the equation of MT, why are you not thinking about finding the gradient first? Remember, it's a straight line. So the first thing that you have to determine is what? Is the gradient. And how are you going to find the gradient of MT? Yeah, but now you can't use y2 minus y1 because you don't know the coordinates.
So don't you use the gradient of M4?
Yeah, you have to use the gradient of OM or M4. Find the gradient of OM. Since OM is perpendicular to MT, means if you multiply their gradient, you get minus 1. Okay? So we say M OM, that will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is going to be minus 4 minus 0 over 8 minus 0. So the answer will be minus a half. Okay? Then you say M or M times M T TM or MMT. If I multiply the two, I'll get what? Negative 1. I already know this one here. So it will be minus a half times M MT. Okay, remember I told you about reciprocals when it comes to this. So when you simplify, since this is minus a half, it means the gradient of MMT or of MT is going to be a positive, it will be the reciprocal of the positive of that. So MMT will be equal to 2. Okay? If the gradient of OM is negative, means the gradient of MT is going to be positive. And the two are reciprocals of each other. Okay? So the gradient of OM is minus half, means the gradient of MT must be a number which is the reciprocal of minus a half. So I now have the gradient there. Then I can use point M to find the equation. Yes? Where? It can be a half. Okay, look here, let me take you there to this formula. Right? Let me take you there. If you have got a half times MT equal to minus 1, okay? That's the equation we have. I hope you are aware that this is multiplication. So what it means, we can divide both sides by minus a half. So if you do that, you get minus a half times MT all over minus a half is equal to minus 1 over minus a half. This will give you the gradient of MT minus 1 divided by minus a half will give you. Okay? In fact, if you practice more, you should be able to understand that if the gradient of one of them is a fraction, the other one will be a whole number. And it has to be positive or negative. In fact, I'll say it will be an integer. Because sometimes the whole number can be negative, which means it becomes an integer. Can I move on? Okay. So now that you have the gradient of MT, I have to use point M to calculate or to determine the equation. Okay? So I'll write my equation there. Y equal to mx plus c. Where there is y, I'll put minus 4. Where there is m, I'll put 2. Where there is x, I'll put 8. Okay, so you get minus 4 equal to 16 plus c. When you take this 16, you get minus 20 equal to c. So your equation of y equal to 2x minus 16. Okay, so if you go down like that, you get minus 16. That's where the y intercept is made. If you take the 16, it becomes negative. Minus 4 minus 16 gives you minus 20.
How do we see 6 minus
The house is minus 3.
because the minus
Yeah,
4
it is
minus
minus 3.
So it's supposed to be minus 20. Right?
Oh,
Hey, it's clearly
I thought it was minus 20. Sorry. All right. Any question? Hmm?
no.
Okay, then for this question, the last one, calculate the coordinates of t. This is t now. One the coordinates there. We know the equation of mt. We know the equation of the circle. So how would you go further? The equation of our circle is x minus 8 squared plus y plus 4 squared is equal to 45. We found the equation for mt, that y equal to 2x minus 20. Okay. So how would we pair off?
So don't you something?
You have to use those two equations. Okay? Because they intersect the two that is the circle and the line mt intersect here. So you have a simultaneous equation.
I will put the 2x minus 26 right
So you take 40 and those two down. So the question of why are you not to use?
No. You see, you want to find the coordinates of t. We have found the equation for mt. Mt and the circle, they intersected t. Therefore, we have to use the equation of the circle and the equation of the straight line mt. Hmm? Yes. Where there is a y here, we put 2x minus 20. And we end up having a simultaneous equation, or rather we end up having a quadratic equation like how we used to solve last year. Remember in term 1 last year, you solved simultaneous equations. One was linear, the other one was quadratic. Yes, that concept there, it has got applications in grade 12 analytical geometry. So what this means is that this would be, say, my equation 1, and that would be my equation 2. So we substitute equation 2 into equation 1. There's no other way that you can find the coordinate of t except by using the knowledge of simultaneous equations. So this becomes x minus 8 squared plus 2x minus 20 plus 4 squared is equal to 45. Okay? Then from here, now if we simplify this, we get x squared minus 16x plus 64 plus. Now this gives me minus 16. So 2x times 2x will give me 4x squared. Now you can use 4. Okay. Minus, okay, 16 times 16 gives me 256. So I'm going to end up having 2x times 16. That will give me 32. So I will end up having minus 64x plus 256. Okay, that's equal to 45. Well, you might be asking, well, what is it doing? Minus 20 plus 4 gives me what? Minus what? 16. Then you use FOIL there. Okay. That step which I was supposed to write here, when you use FOIL, I did that in my head. Okay. Because this will give me a trinomial. So I know which trinomial I'm going to get here. X times x, x squared. X times 8 times 2 will give me minus 16x. 8 times minus 8 gives me that. Then here, I've got 2x times 2x, that's 4x squared. 2x times minus 16, that will give me minus 32 times 2. I'll get minus 64x. Because the trinomial that I'm supposed to get is a perfect square trinomial. Then 16 squared gives me that. Okay? Because You must realize that there are no marks for using FOIL. You won't get marks for using FOIL. Right, then from here now, x squared plus x squared, that will give me 5x squared. Minus 16x minus 64x, that's minus 80x. 64 plus 256, that should give me positive 320 minus that 45. So I'll end up getting 5x squared minus 8x plus 320 minus 45, so the subtract 20, then I'll get 300, and another 20, I'll get 275. Right? Then we have a common factor there. So I'll check out the common factor. That's 5. So eventually my equation will be, if I divide both sides by 5, you get x squared minus 16x plus 55 equals 0. Then you can use the knowledge of quadratic equations, or you can factorize this. Okay, you can use quadratic equations. If you think you can get confused, just use the quadratic equation. But I can use factorization. Okay, so let me carry on here. So if I can factorize this, it will be x minus 11 times x minus 5. That's equal to 0. Therefore, x will be equal to 11, or x will be equal to positive 5. Then you have to reject one of them. Okay, now to reject one of them, you must use common sense. At m, x is 8 and y is minus 4. Therefore, at t, the value of x at t, is it going to be positive 5 or positive 11? Positive 11. So we reject this one here. Now that means then we substitute that value here. So it will be y equal to 2 times 11 minus 20. And you get y equal to 2. Therefore, the coordinates of t are going to be x equal to 11 and y equal to 2.
So why would we
Why is the value of, because the value of x at m is 8. The value of x here is 8. So among these two, 5 and 11, 5 is smaller than 8, so there's no way that you can have a value that's smaller than 8 at t. So it will be common sense